Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video, and today we are going to be talking about Hormozi and his new ad strategy that has to do with the Andromeda update, where he's running 1700 ads. Yeah, you hear that correctly, 1700 ads. And how you can copy it without, of course, being Hormozi. Now, I've prepared a massive video for you guys, so sit back, relax, take everything in. I'm going to share with you the strategy that he's implementing and that we're immediately also started implementing for ourselves actually a couple of months ago as well, and that you can take from this video to start implementing for your business, whether you sell a product, whether you sell a service. This is going to be useful for you if you run meta ads or if you're planning to run meta ads but aren't sure on how to implement everything that is going on in this day and age. Because as you know, the market is changing quickly. So this specific video will be entailed for you to start the new year, or whenever you watch this, pretty much well in terms of running ads at the lowest cost possible with the maximum results in terms of your KPIs. So without further ado, my question to you is, have you seen the Hormozi ads recently? Because if you haven't, you are honestly missing out. You're living under a rock. Now, his ads pretty much are the most unexpected strategy in terms of ads that I've seen up until this day, but it makes a lot of sense. And it will make a lot of sense for you as well if you watch this video and understand the Andromeda update and what has been happening. And today, what I want to do is I want to show you why this is actually a genius strategy that he's doing. And he's actually doing it as well for school.com, which he's running with Sam Ovens, and also for himself, for his own business, acquisition.com. And I'll tell you how you can actually leverage this, because the strategy is very simple, right? The front end offer is very simple, and he doesn't only get the results because he's Alex Hormozi. Well, it helps a little bit, of course, but it's not the detrimental factor on why he's getting results with this, what I'm going to show you with you today. So, because I looked at his ads, I was like, okay, let me see what he's doing. Let me see what the exact strategy is. And when I looked at what he's running right now, it immediately explained why so many people's meta ads have flopped lately. And if you're watching this in December 2025, usually around this period of time, meta ads flop because Black Friday just surpassed us. And now the new year is starting. People are going pretty much and celebrating Christmas. And then the new year is starting, so they're not in spending mode as they are in like November, right? And what we want to do is we want to actually understand how we can play into these specific months as well. And that is exactly what the correct strategy with the correct offering and the correct all-round picture will do for you if you understand this. And for many people, suddenly also lead quality has dropped. We've seen booked calls slow down, show-up rates go down, people not showing up because they say, I want to do it in a new year, which is something, a returning trend that we've been seeing. And everything just started feeling also unpredictable for some of the clients with the ads. Now, for ourselves, it didn't, because we adjusted things for this, what's going to happen right now. And it didn't happen by accident. And it's actually the Andromeda update doing its thing. So there are going to be 3 things that I'm going to show you in this video. First, the exact ad pattern Hormozi and School are using right now. Second is what actually changed inside of Meta's algorithm and how you can utilize it to your understanding so you can implement this right strategy, so you don't waste money on meta ads or never try meta ads because you simply don't understand what this update has done. And third, how you can apply this strategy even if you're not spending big budgets, and how we're doing this as well at the current moment of speaking. So without further ado, let's get right in. So I want to get into Hormozi's ad and funnel strategy. First, we got to understand one specific thing. If I go ahead and explain the Andromeda update to you now and explain the ad strategy and the funnel strategy without one specific component, and that is his offer, you will not understand why the ads will be working. Because you got to understand, first things first, is that everything starts with the core principles. If you have your niche and your ICP and your offer intact, if that is clear, if you know who that is, if you know what your offer is and what the unique selling point is from your offer in the market, you are going to have an edge regardless of what you're selling. If your offer just isn't good enough, I don't care if your name is Donald Trump or Hormozi or whoever, you're not going to be profitable on ads. So you got to understand this one key component of advertising and funnels, and everything that comes down to this is that the offer is going to be key towards your audience. If your offer doesn't speak to them, if it doesn't attract them in a way that you want to, the ads are going to just be a shiny object that's going to get their attention and then not convert them. So in order for us to understand these ads, and before we look at them, I want to dive into what Hormozi is actually selling so you understand this. Now, I've prepared an entire Miro board for you as well in this video, which I'm going to share with you, but I want to start actually at the beginning. So we first have the offer. Now, what Hormozi is selling on his side of things with acquisition.com is a 5K ticket. And that ticket is meant for a tactical session, a tactical mastermind called the Scaling Workshop, where he pretty much invites people to pay 5K and then have a room pretty much with quality people that people can connect with, that are high-level entrepreneurs, and then he has his entire C-suite. So Layla himself, his marketing manager, pretty much his sales manager, his technical team as well that comes there and assists you with the tactical positioning of your business and how to do the implementation of things, not just do like a rah-rah guru type of thing, but actually talk about how you can grow your business. And they give you access to the top talent, so you work with their directors that are paid a lot of money to actually work with them, and you will get taught all of these things as well to learn how to grow your own business. Now, here's the thing. An interesting thing that you might see here is if you go to his page, right, on where he's running ads from, like this is the landing page. This is pretty much the landing page that he's sending people from. And what he's doing is he's running a two-step funnel, which I will explain in just a second. But if you go down and you look at how much the tickets are, he says exactly how much the tickets are, which is not usually something you would see in an offer these days. People will say, don't mention the price, don't tell the price, because it might scare people off. But here's the thing, and the catch. He has a big name already. So with him selling the ticket, people would think like, oh, it's Hormozi, so 5K would be reasonable for that what I'm getting, because I'm going to talk with him and his team. So it makes sense. But if someone would do this that doesn't have the personal brand and the leverage of what Hormozi has and pitches the price, it might be a little bit different, and it also depends, of course, on the offer and the niche that you're positioning this in. But it's really interesting that he mentions the price up front, because I personally think that this works very well, because he isn't hiding the price, he isn't teasing, he isn't warming you up. He is targeting business owners. So he knows that if he's targeting people in real estate, medical, auto, homeowners, insurance, healthcare, B2B services, B2B software, B2C software, apps, e-learning, whatever it is, he knows that if he says that up front, he will filter the people that cannot pay it up front. Because if people that come here on a landing page from the ad see the 5K and they don't have the money, they're not going to apply for that. Or they might apply, but then get disqualified based on that they don't have the budget. Now, by stating the price up front, he actually repels non-buyers instantly. He increases call quality. He turns ads into qualification layer. And if someone is scared of the number, they were never the client anyway. And this offer-led advertising, it's not attention-led advertising. He doesn't care about the attention. He cares about the offer specific on the front end, which is something to keep in mind at all times. If you don't have your offer in place, if it's not compelling enough, if it's not good enough, you can run all the ads you want. It's not going to convert. Now, the same thing applies if we look at his ads. Now, at the time of recording this, he actually has 230 ads running, but back in the day, he had like a couple of days ago, he had about 1,700 ads running. Can you imagine that? 1,700 ads running. That's insane. And then when we look at what he's actually doing in his ad copy, because ad copies are usually meant to also have a specific offer in place. I'm going to show you one that I actually just saw. Like he has here a specific scaling workshop what he mentions. That's what we teach hands-on at our scaling workshop in Vegas. So he says, here's the hard truth. Investors don't buy businesses that can't survive without the founder, right? So he's talking specifically to businesses that eventually want to sell and get investments from a person, from an investor, and sell that business. So that means that we're talking about big businesses. And it doesn't matter how much revenue you do, if every decision, every client, and every fire comes back to you, the value of your company is close to zero. That's key man risk. And until you solve it, you don't have an asset, you have a liability. And we've built the systems inside our portfolio companies to remove founder dependency and create businesses that actually scale and sell. And that's what we teach in the scaling workshop. And if you want to build something that outlives you, click below and let's talk. So he says scaling workshop also in his headline, also talks about it in his description, and also talks about it in his ad copy. So what does this mean? He talks about the offer directly in his ad copy. He mentions it directly in his ad copy. So in the ad copy and in the landing page, he talks about the offer, which is the core thing that he is positioning in front of us here before we actually see the creative and we see the ad. So super important to understand this first, because if you don't understand that the offer is the key in terms of advertising and funnels and everything regarding that, you're going to be pretty much hitting the plank miss. Like you're not going to understand why your ads are not converting and why they're not working, because also If people don't want your offer, if the niche, its problems aren't solved by your offer, you can have, again, the best offer in place, but if it doesn't solve their problems, needs, and desires, it's not going to do anything on that niche. So you gotta solve it on the front end first before you go into ads. And I see so many people come to me, they say, ads didn't work. And I look at their offer, and I look at their niche, and I look at their ICP, and their messaging, and I tell them, why did you start ads before you fix this? Why did you start ads? Don't start ads and waste money on things that you pretty much need to do on the front end first and fix it. So take a look at these ads that he's running right now, okay? So that's the offer in place first. Second, take a look at this ad. So he has pretty much these creatives. If your social media agency struggles with churn, we want to help you scale. Very simple, right? If your average job ticket is 10K, we want to help you scale. Very simple. Now, if your agency sales team outgrows your ops, we want to help you scale. If your CAC keeps creeping up, we want to help you scale. If your funnel works but lead quality is sliding, we want to help you scale. Now, there's one thing that he does in these ads, which I really want you to pay attention to. Do you already see it? All right, I'll give you 1 second. All right, so one thing he's doing is he's calling out the niche directly in the creative. Because here's the thing with Andromeda. The creative is the new targeting, which means it's not interest-based targeting anymore. It's not custom audience targeting. I mean, you can still do that in retargeting and all these things. But what's the key in targeting is the creative. And when we say creative, we mean the language used, the wordings used, the nouns used in the creative. When we understand that this is the key component of getting your ads to work and get them within KPI, you will understand why he's doing this. So to be very clear, he is running them specifically to niches, hyper-targeting the specific niches that he wants to actually speak to. Now, if we go back to this, they're stupidly simple. A white background, a black text, one sentence, and every single ad calls out a very specific type of person. So if you're a 7-figure landscaping business, if you run a content agency, we call out content agencies. If you're a seasoned weight loss clinic, calls out weight loss clinics. Same structure over and over and over again. So my question is, like, and when I was watching these ads was like, how simple can it actually be to run ads these days? Well, it can be very simple. It's the same structure, but it's actually just a different messaging. Now, here's the important part, because he's not running a handful of these. He has hundreds of these ads, and right now he had 1,700, now he has 230. And when you scroll, it's just page after page of the same style. Simple text, hyper-specific avatar callouts. So naturally the question becomes, is this just a Hormozi thing that he's running so many of the same ads? You can see how many same ads he's running, right? But these are all just tailored towards a specific niche audience. But because if an expert-led brand sees this, they're going to think, oh, wait, that's me. You know, I want this. I'm doing $1 million a year. Let me stop and not scroll past this ad. It speaks to the audience. And what is going to happen is Meta's AI is going to hyper-target these people without doing any specific targeting. It's going to hyper-target these people on Meta ads through Instagram or Facebook that are scrolling there. Target them through what they have done, the interactions that they've done pretty much on their behavior on these social media platforms. Show them the ad and push that ad more towards those people that have shown specific interactions that in any way, shape, or form showcase that they are this niche, which will then again lead to more of those people seeing the ad, more of those people clicking the ad, and when they click more, Meta is going to push that ad even more forward towards those people, and that's something that we can utilize for ourselves. So it's not a Hormozi thing. I'm going to give you a spoiler already. The question, is this something we can take for our own agency or coaching business and start implementing right away? The answer is 100%, right? And it's not just a Hormozi thing, because school is doing the same thing. The business that Hormozi is invested in. So the answer is no, it's not just an Hormozi thing. School is doing the exact same play. So if we look at what school is doing, they're doing the same thing. Thousands of ads with the exact same minimum style, exactly running the same thing as what Hormozi is doing. So that should mean that what they're doing actually would make sense in this day and age through ads. And why does it make sense? Well, it makes sense because we're hyper-targeting the people. Now, the school, pretty much on school, it's a $99 a month or a $9 a month pretty much offer, depending on which one you take as the software. Now, as you can see here, they're running the same ad copy all the time. Got something you love? You should make a school for that. Like painting, love games, into wellness, fitness, breathwork, always giving advice. Whatever you're into, school makes it easy to turn your passion into business. You make a group, people join. You can share, teach, and earn all in one place. No tech, no pressure, just passion. This is ChatGPT generated talking. This is ChatGPT ad copy. Sign up here now. You can sign up. Try it for 14 days. See what happens. Try it for 14 days. Create your school account. It's free. Done. right? So if you run an adventure book club, if you run a fantasy book club, if you run a romance book club, if you run a horror book club, we want you in school. If you run a sci-fi book club, we want you in school. If you run a gamers book club, if you run a women's book club, we want you in school. If you can teach Hindi, we want you in school. All of these ads that are being run towards school, and it's just never ending on terms of how many they have. They have even ones for like grief support groups, singing teachers, dating experts, aviation instructors. It's just never ending in terms of how many ads they have. They have right now 2,900 pretty much, I mean, ads that they have running. Now these are not all active, of course, but ballpark average 2,900 that they have pretty much up and running. You can see how much we have, right? So it's just insane. It's insane amounts of ads that are being ran for school and as well as for Hormozi. Now, that means they do different niches, but they do keto coaches, business coaches, women coaches, therapists, teachers, extremely niche categories. And this is a direct response to how Meta works now. Now, if you know something about Sam Ovens is the founder of School. He was the person who founded pretty much the most incredible omnipresent strategy back in the day with Meta ads. And now he's utilizing a similar strategy, but just playing into the field of how ads are working these days. And it's working tremendously well from what I'm seeing on what they're doing. So, guys, let's get back into what the Andromeda update actually changed and why they are doing this. Now, Meta introduced something called Andromeda. It's their new retrieval engine, which means Meta has too many ads. So instead of them relying mainly on targeting settings, which will cost a lot of time and effort from people, it now relies much more on language inside the creative to decide who sees what, which is exactly the reason why Hormozi with his offer is doing ads like these. And his ads implementation is very simple. He's doing stupid simple video ads, I call them, and stupid simple static ads. Those are the only two things that he does. So with those in mind, he only uses those to a stupid simple two-step funnel, which is something that I teach as well, actually. The two-step funnel, which is a super, super simple funnel to actually implement when it comes down to all these niches. So if you go to his ads and you see that he is targeting like e-commerce brand, and click on this, what is going to happen is he's going to guide you to an all-round general landing page, right? And then this landing page has a headline, subheadline, a video, which is the VSL video directly in front of you without you having to give an opt-in. So you can watch that video. It explains the offer. It's a 2-day interactive workshop where you receive personalized actionable insights. Then what people are saying, so the results immediately under it. Then what you will get, so clarification on what you will get. Then again, results backing up on what you will be getting. And then I closed as the pretty much the, example of like a questionnaire where you need to give your name and information first, and then you need to fill out a simple questionnaire. So what I've done is I've actually filled it out because I was also interested for myself, for my business. This is I closed for call bookings, and then a simple questionnaire for qualifying people. So he asks the email address, the annual revenue, which if you don't fill it out to a specific degree, it disqualifies you. So if you have a less annual revenue than what they would like, they automatically disqualify you. Then pretty much, are you able to travel to grow your business in the next 10 years because you've got to travel to their office to go there? So if you answer no, it will also auto disqualify you. Tickets are 5K. Does that work for you? If you say yes, that works for you, then you are qualified to go further and then book a call. If not, you are disqualified again. Now, when you go through this process and you actually book it, you will get emails and confirmations similar to what we usually have. We simply also have like pre-built email, WhatsApp, and SMS AI automation flows. So the way that we do this usually is through a VSL, a standard VSL, where you have like the opt-in page first before you can watch the video. But in this case with iClose, you don't actually have to have the opt-in landing page first. So you skip that, you have iClose, and then you get the name and email and phone number, which immediately gives you an option that if they didn't book a call, you can still follow up with them. So we have 2 sequences of follow-up, which the first one is if they go here and they fill out their name and email, and then you got that, and then they pretty much don't book a call, you can still follow up with them through their number, through their email. Now, if they book a call, you can also send them into a sequence where they get a sequence on thanking them for booking a call and nurturing them with results, with social proof in terms of like 10 to 15 emails in a post-call booking sequence, which we have. So those are the 2 things that we do on those fronts. Now then, what happens after they actually book a call is something hugely important, which so many people miss out. And by the way, this is a funnel that I always preach and I always teach to my clients as well, and I run as well, which is the most simple funnel that you can do and the most simple ad strategy that you can have if you have the ICP and the offer in place. Now, he then has a confirmation page, and the confirmation page is super important, and that page actually looks like this. It's a simple page where there's a short video of him explaining a little bit more on three things. Now, the three things that he actually explains is what it actually is. So what the offer is that he's doing, what it entails, how you got to prepare for it, and what you can expect to get out of it. Now, this confirmation page, in my opinion, is doing the real work because people are booking in the call, right? Now, this video isn't just extra content. It's a difference between a 60-minute sales call and a 10-minute decision call. So they want a decision call. They don't want to have a sales call with you. They don't want that. They don't want to pitch you anything on the call. It's just you come on, you made a decision, yes or no, you go and you pay, and that's it. So Hormozi uses this to pre-frame the offer before the call, set expectations and filter unserious leads, build trust and authority before anyone speaks, and by the time the call happens, the lead already knows what it is, knows roughly what it costs, knows if it's for them. That's why the calls are faster, cleaner, and higher quality, and the result is less selling, better conversions, higher closing rate. And if your confirmation page right now is just a thank you so much for booking a call screen, you're wasting so much time on the call, and it's one of the most high intent moments in the entire funnel, right? So this one is super crucial for you to understand, which is exactly also why for my clients, I have SOPs on confirmation page videos, understanding why the video matters and the exact structure of the video, in clearly bringing that across to us. Hormozi has that as well, clarifying it for the people so that your sales time on the call goes down and the closing goes up. Because you nurture people already before the call. They understand what you do. Instead of being completely vague about it and they come on a call, you got to explain everything, do 3 calls with them, to not even close them on the 3rd and do a 4th call and they have to speak with their wife because they just understand what you do, right? So we got to have every step of the way crystal clear. Now, that's the front end perspective of the funnel. And I actually started backwards, as you can see, because we got to understand, before we go into the Andromeda update and look at the ad strategy and all these things, we got to reverse engineer why this is working and why it's going good in the first place and why they're doing this in the first place. If we don't start at the offer and we go into the ad strategy, you're going to flop. The ads are going to flop. The KPIs are not going to be good. Your cost per call is going to skyrocket. So we start with the offer, then we start with the funnel, then we start with the ads, and then we go to the ad strategy, right? So that's pretty much the strategy you always got to uptail for yourself as well and understand. Now, very important, getting back to the creative Andromeda. The creative does the targeting, whereas before, this was the interests, the audiences, the lookalikes, everything else. Now, it's the creative that plays a massive role in attracting your ideal client towards you. Your words is the most important thing. And here's the full strategy that Hormozi is using right now. So that was the strategy that I wanted to share with you so you understand that. Now, let's get a little bit more deeper into Andromeda, a little bit more tactical. So before versus after Andromeda. So before this update, broad targeting worked well, right? You could target broad and you could just do broad on your creatives and Meta would pick up the pace because of the interest that you placed in the ad set level. You could launch a decent ad, somewhat decent, not even that good, let it run and Meta would slowly learn, go in the learning phase on showing the ad to the exact people, to the right people. Now, winning ads lasted longer. You could run them for a longer time. We sometimes had ads that ran for like a year. You know, we still do. We still do have ads that run for a year plus, but they're just less frequent nowadays. So scaling meant increasing budget gradually, and now it's a different playing field where the field of play is completely changed because Meta reacts to language in real time through its powerful AI. It reads the nouns, the phrases, inside your ad and builds what I call micro pockets of audiences. So you can imagine Meta has like this entire like system. And then in that system, there's like these micro pockets. And all of these micro pockets have specific audience names to them. So specific audience names, for example, like you saying booked calls, what will happen is Meta will look for people who respond to book calls. You say freelancer, Meta finds freelancers. You casually say content creator once, Meta starts pulling in ebook sellers, because they're content creators that sell ebooks. You understand? So if Hormozi mentions if you own an e-commerce brand doing 1 million a year, that's a micro pocket for this specific audience. If he says aesthetic clinic doing 1 million a year, he's talking specifically to this audience and Meta is going to hyper target that audience in that micro pocket. All right? So your words are your audience right now. And that means that words have become everything in ads, which means if your words don't align with your audience, your results in pretty much like KPIs are going to show for it. Your results in KPIs are going to show it. Your KPIs are not going to be good. Your cost per lead is going to go up. Your cost per call is going to go up. Your cost per show up is going to go up. People are not going to show up because they are not clear. And by the way, your offer with your ads, with your funnel, in the messaging needs to be clear. In the confirmation page needs to be clear. In the emails need to be clear. All these things need to be fit in terms of being clear to the audience. Because if your language is vague, Meta guesses, and when Meta guesses, you get bad leads, right? It's not like back in the day you could launch something and it will do its trick and then learn it and then do this thing. Now, if you're vague, if you don't clarify the exact audience, it's going to flop. Your KPIs are going to be very, very bad. So why lead quality feels unstable perhaps for you if you run ads, or if you're thinking of running ads, or why it might feel inconsistent, is this is the exact reason. One day your cost per lead looks fine, 2 days later quality drops. Or you might not get even any leads. And you might not change anything, but what Meta does is just like rotate your ad into a new micro pocket. Precisely one that might not fit your ICP, right? So if your message isn't precise, that pocket won't match your ICP. If your message isn't crystal clear, the micro pocket from Meta won't match the ICP. It will find another one. It will go to another one. So if you vaguely target people, so if you say like, if you're a local business doing 10 to 100K a month, or if you're a local business just in general, it's not going to target exact local business that you want if you work with, for example, beauty salons. So what has happened now is that due to this update, Meta has become more sensitive to your inputs, which essentially means that it will punish sloppy messaging. If your messaging is not good, it won't work as well as it did before. So how we found this out is a very interesting story, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So we started noticing the same pattern across multiple client accounts because we have our own agency next to having our own info product coaching business. And what we noticed is that Ads Manager looked fine, spend was stable, delivery wasn't doing anything weird, but the quality of leads suddenly started dropping. Like we started getting opt-ins through Typeform and through, pretty much Calendly that were booking calls, and we were like, the quality just seems off. Like these leads are just not as quality as they were, because usually we get a like 1 out of 3 quality rate on ads. And then we were noticing like a 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6. So we did the usual checks, targeting, budgets, pixels, tracking, and nothing seemed to be off. And then we spotted it because we had one ad that said, if you're a creator or agency owner trying to grow, this word, creator, was enough to throw off the entire campaign in terms of it not performing and attracting the wrong people. Because all of a sudden we started attracting like these people that were like selling ebooks, that did have a lot of followers but weren't the right fit for us, and just weren't like, they didn't comply with what we did. So we removed it and relaunched the exact same ad without any changes within 48 hours. It was actually even quicker, like within, I would say, like 30 hours. The CPL and cost per book call normalized, lead quality in the first bookings that came in, quality leads. To business coaches, we changed it. So from there on out, we understood how important the language is nowadays in Meta. So we started implementing this for all of our clients and ourselves as well. So right now, what we have is we pretty much have ads that speak to the audience exactly in terms of their, who they are and what they do, right? So the biggest mistake people make when people see Hormozi running 1,700 ads, they immediately think, I need 50 different avatars. But if you're under 1 million a year, that's usually the wrong move. And it creates noisy tests, muddy data, no clear signal on what's actually working. But a smarter approach is very simple. You don't gotta make it complicated. Just pick one avatar, one. Then test multiple angles for that same person. So we have agency owners and coaches. We don't test a lot of different things, So actually, I will see if I can share with you like the ones that I have right now. So you can actually just get an idea and a feeling on pretty much like what we have made right now for ourselves. So these are the ads that we are making. If you're worried about wasting money on another program, we only help you build a client acquisition system designed to pay for itself, right? And here's another one. Let me just give you another one. If you're a coach doing 10K a month who tried ads and failed, we help you install an ad system that actually fits your business, right? If you're an agency owner doing 10K a month and ads didn't work before, we'll rebuild the system behind them so you can. You see what we're doing here? If you run a local lead gen agency, if you run an SEO agency, if you run a website agency, these are all agencies. These are all agencies. We're not making that many changes. We're just changing the name. If you're a website agency, if you're an SEO agency, if you're a local lead gen agency, we could even go more specific. I could even go more specific saying, if you're a beauty clinic marketing agency, if you're a real estate marketing agency, if you're a LinkedIn marketing agency, if you're a whatever, I can make it even more specific, right? So we do the same thing now as well for ourselves, and we're rolling this out for our clients because it's so clear that this is the strategy now that is working. The clearer we are, the more specific we are, the better it's going to perform for ourselves and for the clients. So angles aren't new niches. You got to really understand this. Angles aren't new niches. It's not a new niche. This what I'm saying here, the website agency and the SEO agency, that's not a new niche. It's the same niche. but it's just different pain points, it's different objections, different problems, different outcomes the ICP already cares about. And this is a crucial point. Once you find a winning angle, don't change the offer, don't rebuild the funnel, just scale the message across different creative formats. That's it. So for example, if I were to see that the website agency is getting really good leads, really good calls, maybe even getting clients, then what I would do is the following. So instead of me just trying to test different angles or subcategories within the agency niche, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go ahead and make different creatives based on this. So I would make a face to camera creative. I would make another still image creative. I will make an AI creative with a still image. I will make an AI video from that. I will make a B-roll video from that with the exact mentioning of that niche, right? Or sub niche. So I wouldn't go ahead and just switch it up completely. I would just keep doing that and test it in my scaling campaign, which brings me to my post-Andromeda framework. And this is how we run ad now. Super interesting for you. Broad targeting only. Broad is enough. Don't do anything more than broad. Just broad. In terms of the ad set, in terms of the interest, broad. Don't do anything else. Age group, I would definitely recommend to do, depending on your niche, of course, from 25 and up. We do 25 and up usually because I don't want younger people. I notice that younger people usually have less budget. You know, people that are a little bit older have more budget, more experience. So I want them specifically. The language audit before launch. So every line gets checked. Every noun must match the ICP. If it attracts the wrong people, it gets cut. So we start with still image testing because it's so quick to make these types of ads that Hormozi is doing as well. And then we see which one works, and then we make more variations of that in the future. But we start with that, and we check every line. We check if everything is exactly what we wanted to speak to that audience that we want to attract. And then we have 10 to 15 messages live at all times. Same offer, nothing else different, all in the same ad set. And I'll get into the structure in a second. And we have weekly message rotation. So remember the micro pockets, they expire. If the micro pockets expire, we need to have new creatives and new angles because Andromeda created for us right now that we pretty much need to test things quicker. Ads are not running as long as they have. So we need to test things more often. So on a weekly basis, we have a new batch that we create. And you track only what matters. CPL, cost per lead, cost per book call, show up rate, cost per show up, cost per client. And if costs spike, we fix the message first, not the budget, not the audience, not the interest, not the ad set. We fix the message first. If costs spike, I tweak this one. I test the new still image and I drop that in the ad set. That's it. Nothing more, nothing more complicated than that. So here's the campaign structure which you all came for. Campaign structure. This is also what Hormozi is doing, so I'm going to give it to you straight because I've done a lot of research before making this video because I want to give you everything. If you're testing new creatives, do not throw them into your scaling campaign because that's how you destabilize performance. You got to have two campaign structures. The scaling campaign, only proven winners are live here, and a testing campaign. And this is where new angles get tested. And then when they are a winner, we put them in the scaling campaign. So the scaling campaign can allocate more budget. You can do CBO or ABO, whatever you want to do on that one. You can put that budget in the scaling campaign, and then it will align the budget and scale it. You can scale it from there. Now, if you want to do ABO, usually we'll go into vertically pretty much scaling. That's the way that we would now, just upping the budget by 10 to 20% a day if the KPIs are met and in place. And inside the testing campaign, we're going to have one campaign, one broad ad set, 10 to 50 ads max. So this is how it pretty much looks like. So I'm going to share this with you. So the new way of doing ads is one campaign, one ad set. We usually also put in Advantage Plus. We do minimum age group 25, right? And the other things we leave as it is. Sometimes in terms of placements, we will try and do Instagram feed, Facebook feed, and we'll do... In some occasions, we'll also do the stories, Instagram stories and Facebook stories, because we notice that they always get the most budget when we run the ad set this way. And then we'll do 10 to 50 ads for the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. So it's a combination of all three. Now, then what we'll have is the exact scaling, testing and scaling strategy. So the testing campaign, this one that you're seeing here, that has a little bit less ads in the ad set. Why? Because the more ads we have, the more Meta is going to divide the budget on all the ads, right? So what we got to understand is that when we divide the budget over the ads and we do that in a testing campaign, the odds of the ads that actually might need to get the budget to see if they are working might not get the budget. So in some occasions in the testing campaign, we might have multiple ad sets with fewer ads in it, like 5 to 10 ads, and then pretty much just see which one of these is actually working the best. So we can quickly get more budget on it, of course, depending on how much budget you spend a day, we try and test that one first. And then based off of that, we take the winning ads. And then once we find the winning angle, we are not going to look for new audiences. We will just multiply the message. So that means that one of these ads that is winner on the testing will then go to the scaling campaign where we have the exact same structure as well. And then we'll just put it in the ad set by duplicating an ad. We'll duplicate the ad. We'll put the new ad in there in the winner, or we just duplicate it pretty much from this one to the new existing campaign and the new existing ad set. So as I say here, the process is identify the winning angle in the testing campaign. And this is the ad that gets the best signal. So lowest cost per lead, strongest book call, best lead quality, show ups, all of these things, maybe even a good cost per acquisition if you're getting people that are closing. And then we will do is we'll create 5 new ads using the same message. So you do not change the core idea, you only change the format. As I said, we can make a new static image from that ad with this exact same messaging, talking head video, screen recording, B-roll, like a screen recording, I mean like a Loom video, what I'm doing right now, B-roll, caption first video. So it's the same message, only the delivery changes here. Launch all versions then again in the same ad set, the new ones, right? You launch them in the new scaling campaign and in the ad set in there. And this lets Meta decide which format works best for each micro audience pocket. So we then let Meta amplify the winner. Meta will automatically push spend to the strongest version. And we repeat that process of the testing campaign, getting new tests in different ad sets. So we never do like more than like 50 ads in the ad set because that's usually a cap that we uphold. Again, depending on your budget, if you're spending 100, 200 a day, you need a little bit more than that, what we've noticed on seeing which one will actually work if you do more ads in the ad set. So just keep that in mind. If you're a lower budget, you need to test less ads because it won't get enough allocation from Meta to actually see if they are working. If they're getting a really low budget, you will not see if they are actually working or not, which is sometimes also the case when you will see Hormozi's ads. If you go to the ad library, it will say low impression count. And what this means is that pretty much the ad is just not getting enough spend, so it can pretty much just see if it's working, right? And that's why I'm not a big fan of putting so many ones on like the testing, but they might put this one, I don't know their exact campaign structure, of course, in terms of like inside out, but they might have a scaling campaign where they have this ad running because they might have seen that this one is working well. I don't know, that could be the case. So when performance drops, we don't panic or rebuild. We don't do anything else. We just keep the 2 campaign structures, and then we create new formats around the same winning angle and just rotate them. And that's how you know pretty much how you scale now, right? Not by chasing new hooks, but by amplifying what already works through creative diversity, right? And when I say creative diversity, I don't mean like new, like fully new like messaging in the ad. I just mean the same messaging, just in a different format. So for example, if you look above at Hormozi, what you see here now is he pretty much talks about the dental practice here. So probably they've seen that dental practices have a big interest in this, and now they pretty much like have interest in that. So he also has like a download button, and this is the roadmap. He sends people to a free personalized roadmap where they can get the roadmap as well, right? So that's something that they can use as well, and that's something he's putting out there as well. So that's pretty much a different angle that he's doing for the roadmap ebook type of thing, and that also is being used, but then again in a talking video ad. So this part is critical. Turn off related media, turn off creative enhancements. We don't turn these things on, we turn them off. We don't want things to be cluttered. We don't want extra things to be cluttered other than what I'm told you. So because testing needs clean variables and enough budget. So if Meta starts blending variations, you lose the signal and you won't know what actually worked. And as I said, we usually do ABO because CBO is not that useful unless you're doing a scaling campaign and you want to really up the budget hard with like multiple ad sets. Then CBO might be useful, but in testing we always do ABO. Scaling sometimes we do CBO, just because of the way that we can scale it more quickly with CBO. Now, how we scale winners is once we find a winning angle, as I said, we don't try to get clever. We just simply use the same message and turn that into different formats like static images, talking head videos, B-roll, screen recording, simple text visuals, and creative diversity. Again, doesn't mean new ideas every week. It's honestly not needed. It simply means new ways of saying the same thing, but slightly different, in a different packaging, in a more sexier and different packaging that already speaks to that audience. That's the new way of how you scale without killing lead quality. So what should you do next? Now, you've seen the entire strategy, you've seen what we do. Hopefully this already gives you a ton of value that you can take with you and implement for yourself, and understanding of how you can start this setup for yourself. Now, if your ads feel off right now, don't rebuild the funnel. If you're running ads, Don't make your entire funnel again. Unless you don't have the two-step funnel, then I would say like, okay, you got to learn how to do that. Do this first. Look at your last 3 ads and write down every noun you used. What is the noun you used in those ads? What is the exact wording that you used in those ads? Circle anything that doesn't clearly describe your ideal client, right? And I would honestly go as far as saying you need to have an ideal client document. So I have an ideal client document, which pretty much gives me clarity on who my ideal audience is, who we target, who we work with exclusively, who we don't target, who my exact audience is. I know my audience is men. I know they are 20 to 35 years old. I know they have money to invest. Right? So these are the people, and maybe you're the person watching this, you're in that category, then I'm circling you in terms of the ideal audience, and I'm targeting you in the ads and in the funnel and in everything that I'm doing, right? So you want to re-record that ad without those words, launch it, and let it run for a few days in the testing campaign, in the CB, in the campaign, in the ad ABO campaign, testing phase campaign, and testing campaign pretty much as you're running with one ad set and then multiple ads in it. Maybe you can make 3 to 5 variations, a couple of still image ads, and a couple of videos with exactly the same messaging. Nothing different, just exactly the same messaging. And don't say anything different than what you're doing on the still images and video. That's the adjustment. Speak clearer, don't adjust anything else. All right? Guys, it's been a lot of information, but I just want to leave you with something. Andromeda didn't break Meta. It's simply exposed weak messaging. That's the only thing it did. If your messaging is weak, it's not going to work. And Meta now rewards clarity and punishes improvisation. It actually became more simpler, guys. We can run simple ads. And now we can do so much more and get so much more results and scale so much easier because of this. If you know how to do this, it's going to be a walk in the park. Now, if you want to go deeper into this system, simply DM me Instagram at Stefan Angelovic. And if you would like to learn more how to implement this strategy for yourself, check out the links below. I have a couple of useful resources you could utilize yourself as well, or message me on Instagram. I hope this gave you full insight on how you can actually start utilizing the new Andromeda update with Hormozi strategy and with what I'm doing as well with my business. Hope it helped you. Look forward to connecting with you, and let's make it a great year, or whenever you're looking at this, a great ad strategy, funnel strategy, and offer strategy with everything that we're getting from Hormozi. I mean, this man is a legend. I have to give my hats off to him and everything that they're doing at school as well and what he's doing. And it just keeps on getting better and better and better. I'm just so super excited to have you also implement this strategy and get results for yourself like we are doing as well for all of our clients and ourselves. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.